Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of my videos. Today I have with me a very dear friend of mine who just finished with his master's studies and is going to be taking us on his journey, all the things he has learned and how he has transitioned, from being a master's student to a PhD student. Yes, he just finished a couple of months ago and he'll be starting his PhD in a couple of weeks. So it's going to be very interesting right with us. It's going to be sharing all the lessons he has picked up in his journey and you want to listen to him. Okay, so welcome Mr. Jeremy.
Thank you
so
very
much
much.
for granting us this interview.
Thank you for
Could
having
you
me.
just tell the audience a bit about yourself?
Yeah. Okay, so as Gideon said, I'm Jeremy Aweda. Grew up in Ilorin mostly, and I went to the University of Ilorin, did my bachelor's in electrical and electronics engineering, and after some time I moved to Lagos. I was working with an oil firm, and after about 2 years working with this oil firm and Lagos stress and all the wahala, hustle and bustle, it became really stressful for me, and I just wanted to leave my job. So I thought it wise to just pursue a master's degree because I thought I was going to do a master's anyway, and also probably a PhD. It was just clear to me from the beginning of my life that this is the way to go. So I tried to go to the United States, and I was applying to the top schools, so the MITs and the UCBs and all these big schools. And I was applying for a direct PhD program because if you go for a master's in those kind of schools, you'd have to pay some money, and I didn't have any money to pay. So I was applying for a PhD directly. But my grade was just not good enough. So I was just not good enough. So I kept getting rejections. So after some time, a friend told me to try to come to Germany. And so far so good. I enjoyed it.
Okay, thank you very much. Was that your friend in Germany at the time?
No, it was actually a colleague in the office. Though we started together in the University of Ilorin, and then we became really close on the job. But his brother studied in Germany. He was studying in Germany at the time, somewhere in the central of Germany, Göttingen.
Okay.
And so that's why I came to Germany.
Okay. All right. Wonderful experience. So after your university, you started working in Lagos. You worked for how many years did you work?
Yeah, a little over 2 years.
Okay, a little over 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you decided to come for your masters. Okay. Second question I would love to ask is, why did you choose this particular course? Did you know somebody here before? Did anything influence your decision to come to Germany? Because I understand that a lot of Nigerians, when they think about a destination for their master's degree, they're usually thinking of English-speaking countries, Canada, USA, the UK. So did anything apart from your colleague at work, as you said, who recommended Germany to you, was there any other factor that influenced you making this decision?
Yeah, I would say those factors are majorly two factors that influenced me coming to Germany. So first, Germany is one of the best places you can study engineering right now. Being an engineer, it sounded cool, and also it was important for me to study in English because I've studied in English all my life, and I'm not really interested in learning in any new language, if you know what I'm saying. So studying in a different language is a no for me. I don't think I have the mental capacity to do that. So finding a course that was in English was important, and of course that's not a mediocre course, and a very good course was important as well. And the German Ministry of Education makes it very easy. So they have this DAD portal, DAD.de, and there you can find schools. All the information you need is just there if you just take time to go through this website. So I went through that, and then I found a couple of schools. I shortlisted the good schools, good cities, and Rostock was the place I got the admission first. So I came here.
Okay, wonderful. All right. So it's commonly reported among a lot of international students that the standard of education is higher than the one they were used to in their country, and that's actually correct. Okay, and not too many students, just come into Germany and finish with the masters and finish with very good grades too, and then go straight into the PhD. A couple of students actually struggle. Okay. So I want to ask, how did you approach the German education system? How were you able to easily transition from what you were used to in Nigeria? I'm guessing University of Ilorin, probably 70 was your A. or what, 70% was your A, right?
Yeah.
And then you come over to Germany, and then 95% is your 1.0, which is the highest grade.
Yeah.
So how are you able to quickly just transition and still do well in this system?
I think what really made me successful was, I just say, I don't know how to put it exactly. It's having the right things at the right time. So coming to Germany first, for the first 1 year, money was not an issue because I came with a blocked account.
Okay.
So I had all the money I needed for 1 year.
Okay, so you didn't work that 1 year?
No, I didn't work. And then the other factor was that I spent time in this building behind us.
Yeah, so this is the university library?
Yeah, so I was here every day, Sunday to Sunday. So this was my favorite place in the old city, because in class it was really scary, because the professor comes to the class and he tells you, so the prerequisites for these courses: Fourier transform, Laplace transform, Z transforms. And then cool stuff. I had all these things before in the university, but you don't really know what they are, So maybe it's not going to teach you, expect you to already have a mastery of it, and then you just apply it for your signal processing. So it was really scary. So first I needed to go through all the prerequisite courses myself. So I had to spend a lot of time in this building, going through books and also talking to professors. It's easier to approach professors here than in Nigeria. So I could tell the professor, professor, you said Fourier transforms is very important for this course and it's a prerequisite. But honestly, I don't have the confidence in these Fourier transforms. Can you help me? And then, we'll see what we can do for you. And then maybe suggest books, or maybe he had taught a lecture like that in the bachelor's program. And then he could give you his lecture notes, his slides, or you could ask his PhD students question. So the professors were really approachable. I could be honest with them and tell them I don't know this thing. And then my fear of not wanting to fail, because coming here, a lot of people told me it's difficult, you should not take this kind of courses, take courses that are easier for you to pass. So, and it's not about being easy. I had a career goal, a plan, so I knew I must take these courses. You could not jump them. So the fear of failing and hard work, determination really helped a lot. So just study, and also discussing with my colleagues, people that were in class, because I discovered that people from the Middle East, so people from, so to say, war-torn country, Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, they knew all these things already. So it was really strange for me, because these people coming from countries we used to pray for that God should give them peace in the Middle East, they knew all these things. So I just had to make them my best friends so that they can explain some things to me, and then it makes studying easier and stuff.
Okay, thank you very much. So essentially, he had to build a very strong foundation, and I found this to be true too in my personal studies. The truth of the matter is that where we're coming from, the university background we came from, we really do not know a lot of things, and you may not realize this until you come out of Nigeria. You may have to revisit a lot of principles because you didn't even understand what they were used for, and I think that, and I found that to be my case here. I knew the principle, I've heard about it, but I never understood it in depthly, and so when it was being applied, I was just at sea, and I had to go back to revisit a lot of these things. So I'm going to advise you, if you have plans to come over to Germany or probably any other country, if you've already gotten an admission, use this time to visit all your foundation, all your foundational theories, because you're going to need them. They're going to come in handy. Okay, thank you so much, Jeremy. I have just about I think 2 or 3 more questions to ask. I've interacted with you. When I came to Germany, you were one of the first persons I met. In fact, you were the first person I met. I remember.
I took it to a room.
Yeah, exactly. When I was in Nigeria, and I got my admission into the University of Rostock, if I asked a friend of mine, do you know anybody in the University of Rostock? And he told me, he knows one Jeremy on Facebook. And so I added you on Facebook, and then I sent you a message and I said, I'm coming to Germany, I don't know anywhere. And you were the one who told me how to get to Rostock. And you were the one who picked me up from the train station. So you were the first person I actually met. And thank you for everything.
Yeah.
Okay. And of course, when I came, I interacted with a lot of other Nigerians. But I found that of everybody who I interacted with, even those who came with you at the same time, your German was better than theirs. Okay, and that's one thing I want to ask. In fact, now Jeremy speaks very good German. Okay, he speaks very good German. Of all the Nigerians I've seen, probably all or internationals. Maybe Jeremy speaks very good German. So I'd like you to share with us two things. First, how did you get to learn this language? Because I'm seriously struggling with it. Now, I can speak it too, I can find my way around it, but I can't speak fluently as Jeremy does. So how did you get to, learn this language in about 2 years or so? At least coming to Germany, I don't know if you learned it partially in Nigeria or,
Not really.
or something, but how did you get to learn it? And secondly, how helpful has it been to you? For you that you can at least communicate in German? Does it open up to, more opportunities to you than those who cannot? And just share your experiences with us.
Yeah. Fun fact first. Your name is still stored on my phone as Facebook Gideon.
Interesting.
So, how to change that all the days. And so coming here, well, firstly, the pressure of speaking German was not on my head because I knew I was going to study in English, so there was no pressure. And then one other thing that was important for me is that I really like to meet people, meet different people. A lot of people come here and then they just remain in a sort of African or Nigerian bubble, such that the people they have around them are Africans and Nigerians. I found it not comfortable because if I wanted Nigerian friends, then there was no point leaving Nigeria, so making international friends was important, and it's got one important aspect to really easily make friends here is speaking German. And another thing that was important for me, because I'm a Christian and I like to serve in any church I go to, and the church I was going to was a German speaking church, and I was already in love with the church, so I knew I had to learn some German to be able to really actively participate in the services. So I don't know. How did I learn German?
I think it's the interest. You had a lot of motivation, because I found this to be true also. If you do not have the interest, no matter what happens, no matter the classes you go to, you'll not just be motivated to speak. So you already had, that interest, and so it kept you pushing, and you made that extra effort. And I've been guilty of that. I probably do not have as strong an interest as Jeremy does. Okay.
Oh, well. Maybe you do, just I don't know.
but let's see. Maybe in the coming months, I'll pick up on my German.
But you're not here for 2 years, so.
But I think when you were 1.5, when I came into Germany, you were just 1 year in Germany, and you could, at least your German was better than the way mine is now. So, okay. So moving on. You have a PhD now.
Yes, I do.
Wonderful. And you just finished you had the PhD just before you finished your master's, before you rounded off, or what?
Well, my goal was still to go back to America for my PhD.
Okay.
And then I got an admission at Purdue University, and my professor was really helpful there, but it was sad because he felt that I have very good work ethics.
Which of your professor? The professor here in Germany?
In Germany.
Okay.
Though he helped me with all my recommendation letters, because it's his job to do that, I don't know yet the professor's job to actually give you recommendation letter easily, but he told me that he doesn't understand why I'm leaving him, that we know how to work together, we enjoy working together, and why go? Because I don't know, my PhD master's is a research based as it is. I think yours as well.
Yeah.
So I've been doing the same research for him for about 18 months. So I did it for my specialization module, for my pre-thesis, for my thesis. So 18 months of working with the same professor. Then he said, he doesn't see the reason why I'm going to America anyways. I just stay here and then we'll work together. And I was like, I want another experience from another country. And then though I got the offer in America, the people from church too wanted me to stay, and there was a lot of emotions flying all around. So that's how I decided to stay. And unfortunately, the professor that wanted me to stay couldn't pay me enough money. So he suggested that his friend take me on as a PhD student. And he's able to pay me, and he has been looking for a PhD student to do some cool stuff with atmospheric radar. So
interesting.
And it sounds interesting. So
it does, definitely. Okay, so what tips do you have? I think this will be the last question. I'll just combine the questions together. First, for master students who are already studying here in Germany, what advice would you give to them for them to easily, just transition from being a master student to either a PhD student or to having a job? Because I understand that you also had some job offers. Okay, so what advice would you give to them on how to go about that? And then secondly, I just want you to share with us general tips on how you achieved success. It could just be about your studying, timing. I think because timing is also very important. Timing of your PhD applications, your internships, your jobs and all that. So
Yeah, thank you. So I think the two questions you asked, I would prefer just one answer to both of them. It's basically just know what your goal is. What is your goal? Why did you come here? Why are you planning to come here? So for me, why I was coming here was more for academic excellence rather than money, because God has been so good to us. I don't really have to send any money home, so I don't need to support my family or anything. There's no pressure like that, so I could easily focus on my academic excellence. But I understand it's not the case for everybody. Some people have to really support their family and they have to work and stuff like that. So just firstly know what your goal is and try to achieve it. So for someone, for instance, that needs to send money home, for instance, just finish your masters, because when you finish this degree, it's valuable. You can easily get a job, because if you remain a student for so long, you not make so much money.
Exactly.
You cannot really support the family. But when you manage to finish this thing, finish it, and then you get a good job, and then you make more money, your life is easier, and then you can support your family. So for me, academic excellence was important. That's why I just prioritize anything that was going to make me study harder and not waste my time, to use my time. And so after my masters, as I said, I got a job. There was initially a student position. Before my result came out, I had the opportunity to extend it to make it full-time. But my goal was not money yet. I wanted to still do my PhD, so I had to decline the offer and resign and then come back here for my PhD. It was a good offer, but the experience was good. It was nice working there. And did I made more money than I'd made in my entire 2 years
as a student,
just
and
in
how
4
many
months.
I understand. Yeah.
So
Thank you so much, Mr. Jeremy.
It's my pleasure.
It was a very enlightening time. I learned too, and I trust you also. And you're going to put all of these things into practice. So know why you're coming to Germany, and just work towards it. But whatever the case is, just strive to finish your masters. If you're already here studying and you're discouraged, we're just here to encourage you to just try to finish it up. Because whatever support, whatever help you think you are currently rendering to your family, you'll be able to render even way more when you finish with your studies. Okay, and we believe in you. Okay, and we hope for the best also. And that brings us to the end of this video. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video. Catch you next time.